By virtue of the powers granted by the Privy Council, the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland is this day holding a congregation for the conferment of degrees. Our ceremony begins with conferment of an honorary degree. The authority of degree awarding powers resides with the Academic Board of the Conservatoire, which may confer an honorary degree of doctor upon any person it considers has made a truly outstanding contribution to their profession and whose achievements richly deserve high distinction and recognition. I now invite Nick Koonsberg, Chairman of the Board of Governors, to introduce the sponsor for the honorary graduand.
Principal Sharkey, it now gives me great pleasure to invite Dr. Patricia Hay to appoint Karen Cargill for the degree of Doctor of Music.
Chairman, Governors of the Conservatoire, members of the Academic Board, ladies and gentlemen. Karen Cargill, the loveliest, most unassuming, hugely talented mezzo-soprano that I have had the privilege to work with for over 20 years. But to go back to the beginning, at home with her parents, Hazel and Adam, who are a fantastic support to her, as a toddler, she wandered around the house singing the back catalogue of Boney M and Mull of Kintyre, as you do when you're wee. When she was 9, her aunt suggested she have lessons with Molly Robb, a well-known music teacher in Arbroath, where she learned to play the piano, sing in a choir, and it was in that music room that she saw an exotic picture of Maria Callas as Madama Butterfly, and so the spark was ignited. Fast forward from age 9 to 17, and Karen's first day here, feeling, she said, completely out of her depth, surrounded by super talented musicians, a dream and a nightmare all at once. A few years later, I was persuaded to take up a teaching post here in the vocal department, and that was when I first heard Karen sing. Like everyone else who heard her, I thought, what a beautiful voice. But in order to have an amazing career, there are other essential ingredients required, and Karen was determined to learn more. When we got together, it had already been arranged that she complete a master's concert degree at the University of Toronto. So we made a pact that when she returned, the hard work would commence. She came back with the best possible souvenir from Canada, her wonderfully supportive husband, Nick. Then came the opera course on a full scholarship. For me, the definitive time that a career of magnitude became obvious was when she was given the role of the prioress in the Dialogue des Carmélites. She sang and acted magnificently, and it put her on the map even before she entered the profession. Indeed, a member of the audience was heard to say after the death scene, how amazing it was that they captured her spirit leaving her body, when in fact it was a puff of Johnson's baby powder, as there was no budget for a wig. Then followed a place at the National Opera Studio, sponsored by Scottish Opera and the Royal Opera House. And during this year, she met accompanist Simon Lepper. This fortuitous partnership resulted in her winning the prestigious Kathleen Ferrier Award in 2002. Immediately following this, she made her professional debut singing the alto arias from Elijah with Kurt Masur and the LPO. She had broken her foot just before this engagement, but considered the cast to be a fashion statement, since David Beckham had done the same thing at the same time. 6 years into her already very successful career, Karen gave her best performance ever. Her son, Adam, who is here with his dad and grandparents, and Karen's brother, Mark, and his wife, Louise, who will shortly be having a performance of her own. You only have to read Karen's biography to realize how successful she has been, performing on many of the world's renowned stages in both opera and concert. I could go on using superlatives describing her talent, but I thought I might sound a trifle biased. So I asked 4 of her colleagues that she works with frequently for a couple of comments. Firstly, Simon Lepper, her talented accompanist, who says, "I've known Karen for almost 2 decades. We met as 2 very green 20-something students who had no idea if what we were doing was good or valid or where it would lead. We just did the music. Karen is still doing the music with a directness and warmth that is an extension of who she is." And from the music director of Deutsche Oper Berlin, Donald Runnicles, "Karen, quite simply, has one of the most gorgeous singing voices in the world. Everything seems to come naturally to this gloriously gregarious and generous human being. Her flair for languages, her innate musicality, her magnetic personality, her intuitive grasp of so many different musical styles. What a great ambassador she is for her art, for her country, and for the relevance and importance of Scotland's cultural jewels. May there be many more occasions in the future where Karen and I might work together. She inspires me, she moves me, I adore her." And from Yannick Nézet-Séguin, the music director of the Metropolitan Opera, New York, "It is rare to find such a combination in one person. A golden voice, impeccable professionalism, remarkable collegiality, generosity of spirit, a genuine heart, and expressivity beyond measure. And if all this weren't enough, Karen has a sense of humour that makes everybody instantly happy under any circumstances. To call that person a friend is one of the joys of my life. Dear Karen Cargill, thank you for everything you are, and may you continue to brighten and inspire our world for many years to come." And finally, from Sir Simon Rattle, "Karen's voice, how can I describe it? All that warmth with the taste of an old port embedded in it. And is that even a hint of Guinness? It is all to do with sensations and, of course, Karen's own personality. Charismatic, communicative, and completely cuddly. Sorry not to be more objective, but somehow Karen makes that impossible. Enjoy your day and your richly deserved honour. We are all so proud of you." And I therefore ask the Principal to confer the degree of Doctor of Music honoris causa upon Karen Cargill.
Karen, by virtue of the powers granted by the Privy Council to the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, to confer an honorary degree of the Conservatoire upon any person it may deem worthy of such distinction, and in the name of the Academic Board, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Music honoris causa. Many congratulations. I now invite Dr. Karen Cargill to address our graduands.
So just to start, I arranged the fire alarm because I thought it would be a nice way to just get everyone's attention and make sure everybody was, with the programme. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a huge honour to be here in my alma mater, receiving such a huge honour. While I'm delighted that all of you are here, I'm going to take some inspiration from a previous recipient of an honorary doctorate, the wonderfully talented Emma Thompson, and address these words directly to the graduates. Congratulations to you all on this momentous day when your hard work, your perseverance, and your ability to survive the tropical Glasgow climate have paid off. Not only do you receive your degrees today, but as honorary Glaswegians, you will also now have webbed feet. A career in the arts is something quite extraordinary. We tell the most wonderful stories. We give people food for thought and remind each other what it is to be human. Each of you has a voice, a strong voice that has been honed and nurtured during your time here. Now is the time to use that voice with passion, with purpose and truth. It's time to tell your story. Tell it honestly and tell it well. During my training and my early years as an artist, I felt as though I was fighting against something that I couldn't quite put my finger on. And it took a major audition to change all of that. I suddenly had a realization that I was just Karen. In that moment, with my voice, in that room, I was just Karen. I couldn't change it, and nor would I want to. I finally stood in front of the scariest panel of my life, and I sang without any fear, truly. This wee lassie from Arbroath, who grew up singing the hits of Boney M, was able to do that. If you don't know who Boney M are, just Google them. I told those stories with my own voice, and I didn't ask anyone's permission. I had my own permission. If they didn't like it, someone else could. So my advice to you is to throw off these robes once the ceremony's done, shake your inhibitions, and make your newly minted degree the beginning of a fabulous journey discovering who you are. You no longer have to ask for any more permission. You are in the driving seat, and you have your driving license. And by the way, I got that job. Thank you, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, a performance by Emma Mockett and Julia Lynch in celebration of the work of Dr. Karen Cargill.
Music
I now invite the directors of the schools to present the graduands for their awards.
Principal, in the name of the School of Drama, Dance, Production and Film, and with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduands who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Digital, Film and Television. Christina Bickel-Schulte. Emily Borum. Andrew Caskey. Samantha Casale. Joanna Ellis. Christopher Gomsch. Gabriel Greenhoff. Kieran Howe. Edward Kondraki. Johnson McPherson Stewart. J.P. Pezzett. Morgan Shaw. William Smith. Anna Tubbs. Sophie Wilkinson. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Musical Theatre. Max Alexander Taylor. Casey Ann Apragan. Ross Baxter. Lily Duff. Megan Forgan. Grace Galloway. Felicia Gray. Emma Harding. Lucas Hickman. Keris Jones. Sarah Kelly. Edward Lurig. Callum Marshall. Kiara Sparks. Bethany Tennick. Lydia White. Adam Williamson.
Principal, in the name of the School of Music and with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Music. In composition, with honours of the first class, Matthew Grouse. Aidan Tuplitsky. With honours of the second class, Anna Grigorova. In jazz, with honours of the first class, Daniel Brown. Fergus McCready. With honours of the second class, Joshua Elcock. Greg Irons. Charlie Stewart. Cameron Thompson Duncan. In performance, with honours of the first class, Valerie Barr. Heba Ben Yagla. Lewis Bettles. Ted Black. Liam Bunthrone. Benjamin Burnley. Michelle Dirks. Hannah Foster. Charlotte Heslop. Judith Lebray. Emily Loftus. Monica Mashanauskate. Ellen Mohwini. Edita Mitwowska. Yicheng Pan. Richard Schofield. Daniel Silcock. Nicole Stefani. Myrna Tennant. With honours of the second class, Sarah Alexander. Louise Berg. Nestor Beveridge Petrakis. Sophia Bosbach. Andrew Douglas. James Goodenough. Natalia Gorban. Joseph Hudson. Richard Hyman. Gwoda Indriunaite. Robert Lucas. Heather Lynn. Stuart Moyer. Maeve O'Rourke. Tianshu Pan. Jamie Pickard. Ailey Randall. Stephen Rankin. Krista Schaefer. Rory Simons. Connor Smith. Alexandra Standing. John Torrance. Jake Tucker. Shan Voller. Danuta Vietorek. Kina Wildman. And for the ordinary degree, Amy Smart. Beg your pardon? I missed one name out. Rebecca Wilson. Rachel Wilson. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I request that you confer the appropriate degree upon those graduands listed as in absentia in the programme.
I confer those appropriate degrees in absentia. Honored guests, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being part of this very special moment for all of us at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland. We are here today for a great number of reasons: to mark achievement, to reflect on the impact that the last few years have had, and perhaps most important of all, to look forward and outwards to life beyond these walls. May I start by offering my warmest congratulations to you, the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland's class of 2018. Congratulations. We are immensely proud of each and every one of you. We're also delighted today to celebrate the outstanding contribution of Karen Cargill, our honorary doctor. When I was applying to this post some 4 years ago, when many of you were applying to come here, I took some time to see the kind of artist that graduated from the RCS, and I was absolutely delighted to learn that Karen Cargill was one of our alumna. Her voice, as has been said, is rich and beautiful and instantly recognizable, adaptable across both lieder and operatic repertoire, from the concert hall to the world's greatest opera houses. She's generous in her commitment to helping young singers, is a wonderful ambassador for the RCS, and I have very much enjoyed watching her work with our students. It's a richly deserved honorary doctorate, and a thank you from all of us at the RCS. Thank you, Karen. Now back to you, the class of 2018. Over the time of your studies, you've been part of the fabric of everyday life here, as we have been a very big part of your lives. When you depart today, you will leave behind your artistic imprint on an institution that, thanks to the imagination and creativity of you and of your teachers, is flying high. Hot off the press this morning, we just got the news that we have a 99% employability statistic, the highest of any HEI in Scotland. We are also now internationally leading, being ranked among the finest in the world. We are different because we value not just disciplinary excellence as a pursuit in itself, but also the power of collaboration and the power of exploring the spaces in between the disciplines where new connections, new understanding, and new art can be made and experienced. It is our mission to loosen the bonds of definition as we blur the lines between art forms, and in doing so, challenge the norms of performance. We see the positive result of this in so many different places and ways across this institution. The experiences that musicians create from working with dancers, or that our actors create when they work with composers, or the myriad collaborations that students take part in for Bridge Week and throughout the years. Just one example of all this, of course, is the profound change which our groundbreaking BA in performance in British Sign Language and English for D-Deaf and hard of hearing actors had on the entire conservatoire. This is an historic and proud day for all of us, as the first cohort graduated from the last ceremony, and it's the first of its kind, this degree, in the United Kingdom. Our whole institution is shaped and framed in part because of where we are in Glasgow and in Scotland, a city and nation where culture is valued, shared generously, and has something for everyone. While I doubt you'll miss the rain, you may miss many things about this city, not least its humor and genuine warmth, which we feel today, but often we only feel it in human terms rather than degrees Celsius. I'm certain the time you've spent here in Glasgow will form an important part of your lives forever. As our graduates, you are empowered to take everything that is essential and important about your education here and apply it with passion and confidence in whatever you choose to do next. As you go from here to be citizens of the world, it is with our love and encouragement to be the best that you can be. In thanking you and celebrating your achievements, there's a group of very special people that you and I also need to thank for the part they've played in supporting you, and that's your family and friends here, and those not able to be here with us today. So graduates, just as they're celebrating your achievements, can I ask you to be upstanding and applaud your audience as a way of saying thank you for everything they've done for you. thank you to all our family and friends. Now I want to use this last portion of the speech to remind you of why you came here and urge you to stay true to those values and ambitions. It seems wherever we turn today, there are cynics and systems that are challenging the value and purpose of the arts in our lives and in our communities. Increasingly, public authorities in Scotland, across the UK, and elsewhere in the world are truncating severely or removing entirely access to performing arts tuition from those young people who cannot afford to pay for it. In addition, and fanning the flames of an increasing financial, results-driven and market-driven approach to higher education, the Institute for Fiscal Studies earlier this month declared that art students are most likely to be destined to be lower earners amongst their peers. The unspoken inference being, so why bother being an art student or an artist at all? Develop this school of thought further to its logical endpoint, and you're confronted with questions such as, what does it matter anyway? Do the arts feed us? What do they actually contribute to society? We all share a deep belief that the performing arts are one of the greatest inventions of humankind, a language that expresses the gamut of human experience, and a language that can be shared by all of us, regardless of our mother tongue. We share a world that in some senses is becoming ever more global and fast-paced, but in others is becoming divided by differing views and values. Our sharing of our art has the potential to slow that fast pace down, to allow us to focus on the moment, the phrase, and the line. Our sharing of our arts also builds bridges between us, allowing us to set aside our different backgrounds and points of view and come together around an art that is greater than any one of us alone. The world needs these bridges between peoples more than ever, and you graduates should be in the forefront of showing how there is more that unites us than divides us. I suggest to you that the value of the performing arts, both to you as practitioner and to those with whom you share them, cannot be measured in terms of pounds and pence, because they are priceless. In this centenary year of his birth, composer Leonard Bernstein is as relevant and resonant as ever in defining what this means, and I'd like to end by quoting him. Bernstein said, "It is the artists of the world, the feelers and the thinkers who will ultimately save us, who can articulate, educate, defy, insist, sing, and shout the big dreams." So as the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland's class of 2018, be true to yourself and remember why you came here. And whatever you do next, leave this place shouting those big dreams. Thank you. This congregation is now ended. Please be upstanding for our graduates.